appreciate that. Unfortunately here, see, this is what a shit fucking person I am. There's 14 bubbles in my chat room, and I was not even paying attention. Let's go ahead and get a few chat room shit outs. Let's see here. There's Paul Dembski. Hey, what's up, Paul? There's Newsguy Cadre. I assume that's a Barco sock. Yep, that definitely is a Barco sock because it talks about cocaine. One trick to know if it's the real Barco is it cannot go 5 minutes without trying to impress you with its drug use or how it's banging some fat chick or really unattractive women, but it'll still brag about it. Like, it feels no shame. And that's how you know it's Barco. Like, I think Barco must have gone through a really shitty childhood because it knows no shame and it can't relax when he's on there. He's like, oh, yeah, he'll ask you questions and then cut you right off. And poor bastard. See, I'm going to bring him some ketamine in Vegas, so I'm hoping that'll relax him, because if he turns out to be a fucking dingbat in Vegas, I'm just going to have to flying elbow drop Mr. Barco, because I don't have time to deal with freaks in Vegas. I have to worry about taking orders from Goofy Bone, because he said he's going to help us all get laid, because I think Goofy Bone's probably going to be the only one that'll go, because he goes on a consistent basis, and he doesn't seem like he's the type that wouldn't want to go. So it might be just me and fucking Goofy Bone going to Vegas. So, Mr. Paul Dembski, have you considered going to Vegas? October 1st through 5th. I will be there. We'll all fucking be there. We can even wear name tags if we want. But, hey, that's all up to you, right? Anyways, what's up? Let's see. There is also Newsguy. Newsguy, welcome to my shit show. This is an honor of you. And I'm glad to see you back, because without you, it kind of had a void. It seemed like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, a lot of Nimbusters actually showed up here after Newsguy left, and they were sock puppeting it up and fucking spamming everywhere and getting me in trouble. Everyone thought it was me. I'm like, fuck. Because I do a lot of multitasking, so as much as everyone thinks I'm some sort of sock master, I'm usually just doing a lot of shit. I have a lot of tabs up, and Spreaker usually is just one of them, so it's not usually me just fucking creating havoc. On occasion, I might have a friend pop in and exploit certain situations to the benefit of the listener. Don't hate me for that. Hate yourself for making me do that, okay? I'm just the listener, and not listener Mr. Brooks out in Canada. He's a good, fine Canadian chat room warrior. Now, Newsguy, since you're in the chat, has listener ever actually called into any of your shows, or Paul, or anybody? Because I see him everywhere. He's always very chatty on Facebook, but I just can't seem to recall if he's ever actually called in. The only thing he's really said about himself is that he's Canadian. I don't know where in Canada. I didn't really care to ask, but hey, if you're Canadian, that's a reason enough to hate your fucking guts. Okay? So, whether you're from Toronto, Nova Scotia, Saskatchewan, or whatever the fuck that Bigfoot name is for that shithole province, it doesn't matter. I don't care if you're like in one of the biggest countries in the world. You know, you're not the biggest country in the world. Russia is, okay? Dick licks. So, stop being, oh yeah, we have more landmass. Yeah, you do. You have more landmass than America. Big fucking deal. But what good is your landmass when it's filled with fucking retarded ass Canadians who are pieces of shit? No good. Nothing. But Listener's a good guy. My friend Fitz is a good guy. I don't know if I know any other Canadians on Spreaker. There's Fab Day. She's alright. The HTLA guy. But he speaks volumes against being in Canada because he was in British Columbia and then now he's in New York City. So how can anybody be proud to be Canadian and then they move to New York City, the belly of the beast? I don't get it. That makes no fucking sense. You can't be a proud Canadian and then live somewhere else. I mean, fuck it. Fuck it all. Anyways, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Anyways, there's Goofy Bone. He says, "Bitch, I make money on Spreaker. I save." Okay. Goofy Bone somehow makes money, I guess. Yayo, Newsguy Cadre. Anyone else see this? It's some sort of the N9OGL. That, if you guys are wondering what that is, that's to a pedophile named Todd Doherty. A lot of people, I think, stick up for him saying he's not. But we are people of our own interests. So if you come on Spreaker and you do a show about baseball, chances are you like baseball. This Todd Doherty guy spends a lot of his spare time defending pedophilia, essentially, in really, really disgusting forms of anime that involve little kids. He's a sick fuck. So whether he's a pedo or not, he's very, very close to it. So assuming he's not, I just assume he is, because just fucking read some of the shit he has on his website. Where I don't even want to get into it. He makes me sick. So if you guys want to be his friend, that's on you, not on me. That's sick fuck. But someone posted a link in there. But unlike other shows, I don't ban people. There's no reason to ban. It's people should say what they want. I think the only reason I'd ever ban is if someone's super spammed, and that's it. Only because that disrupts the experience for others. But I have yet to ban one person in my since the beginning of the show, I think probably over a year ago. And this fucks things up in some ways. You coming back, Newsguy. I was gonna not include you in the 1 year anniversary of the Gangs of Spreaker, because we do not allow gang leaders that are inactive to be a part. So this will put you at odds with Bastard FC, Newsguy. So Newsguy versus Bastard FC, it's a real thing. It's another crew on here that kind of developed. A lot of Nimbusters kind of flew there. The ones that abuse drugs and druggies and cocaine enthusiasts, they all flocked to Barco while you were gone, Newsguy. Because Paul Dembski never came on enough. He'd come on once in a while, but just never enough. And he always had something interesting to talk about. So... And also, Dembski, if you have any nudes of that Ruski, please send on Facebook. I promise I won't send them to everybody else. I mean, I do have my needs as a professional broadcaster on here, but we won't talk further about that. Let's see. Newsguy, did you go to Big Steve Cole's funeral? Who the fuck is Big Steve Cole? I don't know. Sounds like a sports person. I am not in Staten Island, so no, I do not go to Big Cole's. So, Newsguy, the rumor is you're from Staten Island, so I guess you just confirmed that you're not. Now, here's the thing about Newsguy, which is why I think some people got it wrong, is Newsguy has always claimed he's in Iceland, and unfortunately, Newsguy, you should have just said, no, I'm in New York, because Iceland... has 300,000 people? And there's only a few hundred American expats there, so I mean, you might as well just say, yeah, I'm in New York, and said, everything else. So, I don't know. You should have just said you're in New York, because I'm sure you're probably Googleable by some sort of American expat. Because one of the few things is that if you go from first world nation to another first world nation, it is such a bitch. I mean, there's so much paperwork and all this and all that. But if you're a third world person going to a first world nation, hey, woohoo. The progressive parties love you, so they make it easier for them. So, but usually I think if you marry somebody, that's usually the fast track for anybody. So if I were to marry a Russian, which I would not, but if I chose to, be a lot easier for them to come here. Or if I wanted to marry them in Ruskia, then I'd go to Russia. But Russia's just not my thing. Putin's okay. I think he's kind of a mixed bag. He's good in some areas, bad in some areas, but just not really for me. It's better that I kind of live within 50 miles of where I was born, and I'll probably die within 50 miles of somewhere around here, because I grew up here. Most of my family's here. Everything I know has been here. I didn't go to college here for 2 years, but I did graduate here, so that's fine. Good enough for me. Let's see. Newsguy Skype. Todd is a pedo. Latent pedo. Ready to strike. I agree. That's why, just even if he's not, as I said before, he's close enough to where he's just damaged goods. And if we're going to write off undesirables, that's one person that you should write off. Because otherwise, maybe pedos are trying to follow him around because, hey, he's the legal voice of some of that shit. So, I don't know. Just avoid that guy. I mean, he's a real sick fuck. Guy Shea ripped off my show. You have to include the Newsguy cadre. I'm assuming he's talking about the gangs of Spreaker. Yes, I have to include the Newsguy. But what my point was, Newsguy, is if you weren't around and you were inactive, I would not have included you. Just because gang leaders need to be active in order for them to even make a gang list. I mean, it's not fair that if you're not active, then, because pretty soon here I'm going to have to shoot off an email to all the gangs of Spreaker, and I have to get them to list 12 people. I assume it's 12. And what I do is I try to include the co-hosts and the regular callers, and then I go through their usual chat room warriors to fill the ranks, because it's only fair. And I got a lot of complaints about last Gangs of Spreaker episode, how it was inaccurate. Yeah, it kind of was, but the thing was, it was just me. I didn't consult anybody. It was only a matter of me going to all these different shows, just listening to them and figuring shit out. So the one that I got done correctly was Chris Top, because his chats were filled with a lot of the same people over and over. So, and the one group I think that really has exploded since then is the Truth Porn Militia crowd. So I don't even know if Jay Sands is considered even a gang leader anymore. See, there's a lot of new changes that I have to make note, is that Sandsnet kind of, for all intents and purposes, kind of broke up since Rick left Sandsnet. So he took his talent to the Fuck You network with Dino, and so they're kind of back doing their own thing on their own network. And then Pumpkin Face went and built up Truth Porn Militia with Uncle Ghoulie, and he had all these. They kind of absorbed a lot of different smaller shows, including the recent, which was Jade and Blake and Jade. Sorry, whatever. And so that's their, recent thing. So yeah, it's Pumpkin. I think in retaliation for Rick, pissing him off, he's like, "Fuck you, Rick! I'm gonna go build something better." And then, through ambition, he built up what we see today as the Truth Porn Militia. And what's funny is they got that name because of my Gangs of Spreaker episode, because before it was called Sublimination Station, but not one fucking person knew how to spell that word, sublimination. I mean, go ahead and try to spell sublimination in the chat right now without any of you guys cheating. I want to see it done. I'd be very surprised if most of you could do it, because not that you guys are dumb, but just because it's a fucking ridiculous word. And so I was like, and that was the thing, is I didn't know how to spell it, so I couldn't include it in the Gangs of Spreaker. So I was like, fuck, I don't know how to spell that fucking word, because I was doing it on a Paint, and Paint doesn't exactly have spell check, and I'm not going to shift tabs. So I was like, fuck it, I'm calling them Truth Porn Militia. And I got the word truth porn from that one guy from Ohio. Those two guys on here that used to frequent Debbie's show once in a while. They're like tough guys, kind of Christian, hardcore Christian. And they usually drank a lot and kind of like truthers. And I noticed one of their episodes they were talking about truth porn. And so I was like, okay. And then what I noticed was Pumpkin always talked about the Second Amendment and stuff. And so that's when I connected. I was like, fuck it. I'm calling them Truth Porn Militia. And so it stuck, and they've built it high. Now, unfortunately, I don't really go to Chris Top shows a whole lot. I don't know. I guess we just kind of lost touch. It was nothing me being pissed at him or anything. It was just